And good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday, the 18th of July. This is session number 50 for the Barefoot Millionaire Mastermind Mindshift Mastery Series. That's a mouthful to spit out. But what we do here every single day is this series is actually part of the Barefoot Millionaire Mastermind peak performance. Hang on, I'm getting a little bit of feedback there. Let me fix that. All right, so it's part of our peak performance blueprint. It's part of a movement of people who are dedicated to making a single change every single day, a manageable change, and if you will, an easy change in their lives that could result in tremendous improvements in their results that they're experiencing in every aspect of their lives. So as we're giving folks a chance to get in, I'm going to go ahead and close a couple programs out here because it looks like this is one of those days when Google is choking on everything and using a lot of resources. So let's just go ahead and give it all the juice it can use. Okay, hopefully this will be a little bit better. And welcome, Jen, welcome, Sandy. Today I'm really excited. Today's topic is on our mission statement. And it's not just about our corporate mission statements, although we can certainly implement this strategy in our corporate mission statement. But one of the things that my mentor told me some 30 years ago, 32 years ago, was that you have to begin with a personal mission statement. That you can't develop a business mission statement unless you know what your personal mission statement is. Hi, Ita. And so the idea was that in order to create a mission statement, first of all, you had to understand what you were all about. And so my first challenge for you guys today is going to be to determine what it is, what your mission overall is. Not the mission statement, but just what's your mission. For me, it was making a fortune by making a difference. But that was a little too cliche to make my mission statement. And so I wanted something that not only related to financial life, which that really confines itself to, but I also wanted something that shared the impact I want to have on the world around me. So I had to make a decision first and spend some time with a notebook and writing out who John Michael is. What is my mission? And as I did that, sometimes the ideas that would come to mind were actually more about what my values are. Well, my values inform my mission, but they're not the mission itself. So I really became clear on what my core values were. I became clear on what my mission was. And then I began to look at a way that I could make that mission statement memorable. Because when I share my mission statement with you today, it's going to stick in your head. And my mentor, and Mr. Rohn, said, mission statements that are not memorable are disasters. Because they have absolutely no impact on the people that they're meant to serve, that they're meant to inform. When you think of a company like, I'm trying to think of somebody who's got a memorable mission statement. In the simplest of terms, it's really a tagline. But if you think of Maxwell House, what's the first thing we think about what Maxwell House's commitment is to the marketplace? Good to the last drop. So if we think about, we want folks to remember us by a mission statement like that. McDonald's, 1 million served, or 1 billion served, or whatever. 10 billion poisoned, whatever the mission statement is. So that's the core work that we have to do today. And why having a mission statement is important isn't just because it's going to impact your business profitably. It's because having a mission statement makes you more mindful of what it is that your day is all about. And so that's why this isn't just a business mission statement. That's why the challenge today, and it is a little bit of a challenge. I told you guys that these mind shifts were going to get a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder, because now they're building on all of this tremendous foundation that you've built over the first 49 days. So today we create that mission statement for your life. And that mission statement ideally should apply to the 6 dimensions of your life, the 6 dimensions of wellness. So when I sat down to craft mine, and I added a phrase to the end of my mission statement that's what's been my mission statement for the last 5 years. So for the last 5 years, my mission statement was to offer a welcomed interruption to the mundane and unprofitable thoughts, ideas, and actions that hold people and companies hostage, to enhance the lives of those I touch, inspiring them to cultivate primary greatness. That was where my mission statement ended. Now, it's not a clever catchphrase or something where people are going to remember verbatim, but if they hear it often enough, and we're going to talk about that, and you're going to start to see that in these videos and in our daily sessions, then people begin to remember, yeah, he's the guy that said he wants to create a welcome interruption in my boring as shit life. Something like that's going to stick in their head. Whatever it is that they're going to relate to. Or he's going to remember he's the guy that wants to create an interruption in the stuff that holds companies hostage, or maybe that holds employees hostage. And for others, it's going to be, oh yeah, he's the one who said he wants to enhance the lives of those he touches with inspiring them to generate primary greatness. But then as I did the work preparing for this program today, I said, I really should look at my mission statement because it's due. It's been 5 years. I could tweak it a little bit. And so today, my mission statement, and I'm going to ask for your feedback on that, on whether you think that's relevant or a good representation of who I am. So my statement is primarily the same. I added about 7 words to the end of it. To offer a welcomed interruption from the mundane, unprofitable thoughts, ideas, and actions that hold people and companies hostage, to enhance the lives of those I touch, inspiring them to cultivate primary greatness, compassion, and to achieve peak performance. So I added that the words compassion and to achieve peak performance because that really, at the end of the day, is what I feel my work is about, to inspire people to cultivate primary greatness, compassion, and peak performance in all aspects of their lives. And the sort of clever phrasing in the beginning is to get their attention so that they understand that I'm not here to kind of offer them fluff, happy little pictures on Facebook with cute little quotes, bunnies and kitties and puppies. I'm here to serve as an interruption in their day, a welcome interruption from the mundane, unprofitable thoughts and ideas that hold people and companies hostage. So that's my mission statement. And what has been a little, now many of you have heard that on my videos before. You've seen that on my show when I was doing the show on Blab. When we started this program, I intentionally withhold that for about the first 40 days. This time around, we had 10 more days of business stuff to put in there. So for 50 days, there are 50 videos that I don't get a chance to talk about my mission statement in my video. So once a week, I like to get on video, and during the course of that video, to say, just a little bit about who I am and what I do. I offer a welcome interruption to the mundane, unprofitable thoughts and ideas and actions that hold people and companies hostage. You don't have to say the entire rest of the mission statement, because at the end I'm going to say, I hope that this video has inspired you to cultivate primary greatness, to find that source of compassion within, and to achieve primary greatness. And then I wrap it up with, stay in the moment, be grateful for what you have, and always remember the best is yet to come. So this is not just about coming clear about who you are and what your mission is. This is also about branding yourself. And see, there are people out there who claim to be teaching you branding, but all they teach you how to do is talk to people on Facebook, and that's not branding. Or they tell you that you're your brand, not your company. That's great, but what are you going to do to make my brand as attractive as my company's brand? How can I compete in a world of McDonald's and Wendy's and Procter and Gamble and all of those other brands, Clinique and Sebastian? So here's how we become a brand that shines. Because at the end of the day, I don't know too many companies out there who offer a welcome interruption to the mundane and unprofitable thoughts and ideas and actions that exist for people or for companies. So I'm bringing a product to the marketplace that I think truly is unique, and so are you. And so this is about kind of discovering that. So let's open the discussion, and let me know. First of all, I would love to know if you think that my mission statement is a good representation of who I am, or if it misses the mark altogether, because I love that kind of feedback. And if it misses the mark, then tell me.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
First of all, your mission statement's dead on. Absolutely dead on. It is succinct, it's elegant, and it's awesome. It's very well phrased, and it totally gives you the entire encompassing of what you do. And it really does beg to be, to have people sit there and go, please tell me more. Yeah, I mean that's awesome.
Right
There's
on.
no other way to put it. That's awesome. So
But
yeah,
does what we're talking about kind of make sense, for you in terms of ways, because this peak performance program that I'm putting together, part of it is actually geared toward teaching people to become better writers, because even if they don't intend to write a book, if they're communicating in the marketplace, they need to become better writers. Does this inspire you to do any looking at your mission statement, or have you already done a mission statement?
my mission statement and I need to tweak it a little bit, but it's basically my whole purpose is to teach people to see the awesomeness that's inside of them and to share it with other people, because life is too short to die with your dreams inside of you. And that's pretty much what I've been thinking of with all my writing is, how can I inspire and teach people that they are worth more than what they're looking for. At the end of all my blogs, I put something. It's and as always, kind of like you do. And as always, you're worth it. I'm grateful for you. I'm proud of you, and I love you. And I tell them, now go out there and be awesome people, or whatever. Don't be spammy people if I'm writing about MLMs and stuff like that. But I try to include that in every blog, just because I don't think enough people hear it.
Yeah. I think that's great. I would encourage you to take that mission statement and kind of work on it as a writer a little bit. Don't really change much of the words, but maybe just polish them just a little bit so that it flows, so that you can start using that at least once a week in your blog, that you can make reference to it. That when you do videos, you can at least share somewhere in the video that my mission is, because I think it's a powerful mission. I think it's likewise is very succinct, and it's memorable. That the fact that you want people to discover the awesomeness, that's great verbiage, because that's unique, and that reflects who you are. So I definitely encourage you to do that as part of today's exercise. How about
Awesome. How
about Ita and Sandy? What are your thoughts?
Hey, it's Sandy. First of all, I mean, I think it's I think a mission statement is important. Writing down who you are, what you are, and how you see what you do can help other people is a great goal. But while you're writing that, I think it needs to be something that's actually achievable, just not idle words. And by that, I don't mean to be harsh. I mean a bunch of nice words. We're all nice people. We all have nice words. But how are you going to do that? Have a plan of how you're actually going to do that. Because a mission statement without an actual program of work, if you will, call it that, doesn't mean a whole lot. So that's about all I have to say right now. I might want to chime in here later, but let's see how it goes.
That's an excellent point. A mission statement that isn't deliverable becomes a pipe dream, and then there's no credibility in the marketplace. If all you're bringing is the pipe dream, people need to see evidence of what your mission is, and so that's good to keep in mind especially for those who aren't able to be here on the live feed, who may be working on your mission statement. Don't just make it something that's, there's so many people out there that use the enhancing the lives of those we touch, helping people achieve their goals. Well, how are you doing that? The reality is that most of the people that use that mission statement are just selling a product, and they're not, and that product doesn't help people achieve their goals. It doesn't even address the people's goals, and they don't even know what the people's goals are. So make sure that however you phrase it, it reflects the work that you do. As Jen's mission statement reflects the work that she does with women every single day, and mine, attempts to do the same thing. So Ita, I would love to hear, what your mission statement is, and what you think, and whether you think that mine reflects well on who I am. I'm not fishing for compliments either. If you think I'm way off base, tell me.
No, first of all, I don't have a mission statement, so there you go. Regarding your mission statement, yes, definitely, it's a welcome interruption. When we were off for that week, when you weren't doing any of the blog with the electricity in your home, I missed it. It was definitely something I look forward to every day. So it's something I definitely, it is a welcome introduction, and you do inspire us all, every one of us. So it's something I look forward to for the next 150 days too. But yes, I don't have a mission statement per se, and because I just did what you said, many MLM companies, I just copied what I was told to write. So in essence, because I'm in 3 different companies, I just didn't sit down and decide which product I wanted that enhanced people's lives the best, and again, I was torn between 3 different companies, so there's no cohesiveness there. So it's definitely something that I've been scribbling down all your points here, because it's something I've got to work on. I've got to get a mission statement to get my businesses together and to let my customers and my everybody know what I'm about, because that's where I'm not cohesive in any of my businesses.
Sure, and I think, and I appreciate your honesty there. I think too that it's important now that you've made the decision and you've made a bold declaration, going back to some of our earlier mind shifts, that you're going to do this. Understand that your mission statement actually has nothing to do with any of those 3 companies. And you just nailed it. You just said you want people to know what you're all about. And so I think that there's that deep down there's an unpolished mission statement that already exists in your mind. I think there's an unpolished, very rough-hewn mission statement that exists at the core of every one of us, that we know what it is that we're about. That's how we determine the companies that we get involved with. That's how we determine the work that we do. That's how we determine whether we're going to be on a program like this, because we know who we are. But until we actually take time to sit down and write out who we are, flesh it out, and polish it so that it becomes a more authentic representation. Because here's what's happening. Deep within yourself, there's an inner chalkboard, if you will. And scribbled on that chalkboard is your image of who you are. And it might be an image that's in words, or it might be an image that's in pictures or symbols. But your image of who you are on that chalkboard is also combined with the ego. And the ego writes all kinds of chaotic nonsense on that board. So the image of who you are becomes sort of combined with some of the false image of who you are. We call fear or false evidence appearing real. The ego is going to say, well, I'm an okay speaker. Well, I'm all right as a marketer. I want to help people, but I only want to help people that are worse off than me, or I really shouldn't be trying to help people lose weight because I still feel like I'm fat. all of those kind of things that are sabotaging statements that have absolutely nothing to do. In fact, in Herbalife, one of the most successful people that I had on my team was this lovely woman, very beautiful woman, and she happened to have had a thyroid disease. She had Hashimoto's, and she was quite large, but she helped at least, I would say, at least a couple hundred customers personally to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds. So we helped her initially. She said, I can't do this because people are going to look at me and say she's fat. And I said, you can do this because people are going to look at you and say she's fat, and so am I. And if she can do this, so can I. And so what started to happen is, as she started to develop, 30, 40, 50 customers, all of a sudden her belief within herself began to increase. Now, she still had Hashimoto's. She still had to address the medical condition, but she was giving her body the nutrients that it needed so that her body could start to do that course correction. And she began, for the first time ever, to start losing weight. And she was going to be, the last time I saw her, she was still a larger woman. But she was a fraction of what she was when she started. But more important than that, all of that chaotic data, all of that bullshit, that nonsense that the ego was feeding her, superimposing upon her mission statement, was wiped off that chalkboard. And she recognized who she really was. That she was about helping people, inspiring people to achieve the best version of themselves. And to inspire people to find the power within them to do the things that mean the most to them. And so I want to encourage you, Ita, to understand that some of that mission statement exists. It's in rough-hewn form, and that the reason we want to write it down is because as we're writing it down, some of the ego crap is going to come out, and we can see that, and we can gently say, thanks for sharing, ego, but that's not true about me, and we can scratch it out. And we can continue to do that until we have sort of this, what writers think of as a mind dump, that sometimes whenever I've got writer's block, one of the things I'll do is I'll sit down and I'll just do stream of consciousness writing, and I start writing about whatever. And as I start looking at stuff, I just say, aha, that's fear, thank you, and I gently let it go. I scratch it out, or I delete it. Oh, that's ego. Scratch it out and let it go. Oh, that's an old memory I haven't thought about in a while. That's a distraction. That's nonsense. That's chaotic data. And it's this purging. And then once I've gotten all of the nonsense out, all of a sudden I feel like, you know what I really want to write about, and then I'm back on task. I'm able to start to pick up where I need to be. And it's kind of amazing. I want to share with you guys how that works. All of you know the story, the situation about the unfortunate incident that took place with my former business partners, and the fact that I am honestly and truly grieving the loss of a 21-year business relationship and friendship, along with the loss of the income, and along with there's so many other issues involved in that. But in order to do that, my most familiar and comfortable way is to journal. And as I was journaling and writing and just kind of purging all of this stuff that was going on inside, it really came to the forefront to me. And then in my mind, I was also thinking, I've got to get this out of the way because we have to talk about our mission statement. And as I started to do that, the idea that came to my mind was, your mission statement is your answer. It doesn't matter. Worrying about what other people did to your finances is unfortunate. It's temporarily an inconvenience and difficulty. It has represented a tremendous hardship in the present moment financially. But the solution is never outside of me. The solution was never outside of me. The only reason that income existed was because of the solutions that exist within me, and nobody could take those away. And so I sat down and said, this is a great opportunity. Everything that happens in our lives is a great opportunity. And the great opportunity for me right now is to take a close look at exactly what I'm doing and see if it's a perfect fit for my mission statement. And network marketing has been so good to me for 35 years. I've enjoyed it. It's been, responsible for most of you that are involved in this program becoming part of the journey. Um, and it's something that I'll always want I'll always feel a sense of wanting to give back and coach network marketers. But at 53, I no longer feel any desire whatsoever to be involved in a network marketing program. I'm not interested in selling products anymore. I'm not interested in recruiting distributors anymore. I'm interested in seeing the folks that I know that are in a myriad of companies succeed. And so I said, you know what, this was a good opportunity. This was a stopping point. The distraction of being involved with a company was pulled out from under me. So now what do I have? I have choices. I have the opportunity to say I'm going to make the best of this. And so the blog for the Barefoot Millionaire Mastermind will be gone within the next 2 weeks. Nobody was using it enough anyway. Very few people were using it at all, and it served no purpose because we have the Google community, the Google Plus community, where there is a standing archive of all 50 of the sessions thus far, and where those will always be available to you guys. We have our Facebook group for the need for announcements. And what's going to happen is the Barefoot Millionaire Mastermind has been my brand, was my brand before. I kind of allowed this project to overtake it and take advantage of that site since I wasn't using it. But it's time for me to start using that site to build my brand. And so that blog is going to go away. The content that you guys have experienced is going to go into a members-only package. So that new folks who want to participate, want to benefit, are going to have to step up, and they're going to have an opportunity to become a member, a paid member. And then there will be, additional levels for everybody. Now, all of you that are involved in this, it doesn't affect you at all because you're going to get these 200 days of mentoring, just like we said from the get-go. But you'll have the private group to be able to see the archives. You won't have to go into the members-only site to see them, and all of the people that are kind of bragging out there that once they were part of this group, but now they just go to the website and they watch the program and they share it with everybody they can. And while I appreciate that, so if you happen to be watching this because somebody who used to be involved shared this with you, we're glad you got to see this, but unfortunately, you're not going to be able to participate the rest of the time because these folks that you see down here and a couple folks that are watching on the replay have made a commitment. And until you make a commitment, until you've put a price on what you're willing to pay to make changes happen in your life, your commitment's lukewarm and you're not going to get results. So this is about really helping people in the greater community to get the kind of results that these folks are getting because they made a commitment out of compassion to serve others and to help a couple that was in great need. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited because that made me say, okay, John Michael, if this is an opportunity, then let's take this opportunity and do the same work that the participants in the group are doing, and take a look at your mission statement. Take a look at what your core values are, and see if there are issues that you need to address, clarify, polish. And that's how the added words to my mission statement came about. Now, ideally, your mission statement should be half the length that mine is. Ideally, mine should be half the length that mine is. And I've known that and told myself that for about 10 or 15 years. Because if it was half the length, people would remember it. And so and when I look at mine, I could say that my mission statement could be to offer a welcome interruption from the mundane and unprofitable thoughts, ideas, and actions that hold companies and people hostage, and I could stop there. That's one mission statement that would be memorable, or to enhance the lives of those I touch, inspiring them to cultivate primary greatness, compassion, and to achieve peak performance. That's a second memorable mission statement, less memorable, I think, than the first. But I have not reached the point where I am willing to give up that second half, because my gut, and I'm being honest with you guys and transparent with you guys, as I look at this and I try to look at this as an outsider, if somebody came to me with that, I would say, okay, now let's cut out the parts that don't matter. Let's cut out the parts that are not memorable. I know what part needs to go. And maybe between now and my goal of when I get this website up, I will have stepped up and said, I'm going to make this my mission statement, and it will be half that length. So I want you guys to know it's not easy to do a mission statement and make it memorable, because there's so much that you want to be able to say. Jen, I would say in yours, it's probably a sentence or two sentences too long too. But I can't tell you what to cut out of it. Nobody can tell you what to cut out except you, or if you cut anything out. Now I'm going to tell you right now that the majority of this has been in my mission statement for 10 years because I just didn't have it in me to cut any of it out until I knew for sure that there was stuff that didn't need to be said anymore. I left it all in there, you know. And so nobody could spout off my mission statement except me. You know, nobody could spout off and say, yeah, his mission statement is, you know, good to the last drop. But I knew that until I was really comfortable that I wasn't taking anything out that needed to be there, that this just needed to sit as it was, that this was going to be a work in progress. So I encourage you guys to do the same thing. And before we run, it's now 2 o'clock. If anybody else wants to jump in and offer anything, any other observations, feel free to do so.
What did you call that, purging your head by writing technique? I love that.
The mind dump.
The what?
Mind dump. It's a data dump.
Mind dump. Oh, I love it.
Data dump from your mind. It's you download all of the crap that's in there, and then you look at the data and say, this is a corrupt file. That can go away. This is a corrupt file. I mean, that's kind of my nerdy way of looking at it.
I was listening to that, and I went, oh, my goodness, you are full of stuff you could mind dump. Because we do that. I'll write a lot. I journal every day, and some of that stuff is just exactly, you have to analyze it and say, well, what has taken priority in your mind?
Yeah.
And half the time it's hogwash.
Right.
It's like it means nothing to anybody but your ego.
And some of us are really good about that. You're one of them who's really good about using social media for that. Whether we mindfully are doing it as a mind dump or not, I think that one of the great benefits that social media offers us is that we can let that crap out and then let it be gone, you know, and say, you know, okay, here's my rant of the moment, blah 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 blah, and then whenever if you ever see me ranting on social media, you can be absolutely certain that that was the purpose, was that I see social media as a tool, and there are times when I'm in the middle of a day and Trump says something absurd, and I have to get that out of my head. So I give it a rant, and it's done. You know, I said my piece. I don't feel like I have to see, because what happens when somebody does something absolutely inane and stupid and just maddening, we get so aggravated with that we want to express our disdain. And so what do? We express that disdain maybe to ourselves, grumbling while we're working. And then somebody comes in and we find a way to work it into the conversation. And the next person comes on and we want more validation, and we want more validation, we want more validation. Before you know, you've wasted so much energy in a day talking about some jackass who shouldn't have any influence or any negative impact on what you're doing today. You know, so somebody's talking about, oh, I'm gonna do this or that to finances. I'm gonna take away. Somebody yesterday said, I think every person on welfare, every person getting food stamps should be drug tested. Well, I could have spent all day aggravated that there are people that I know and people that I like who are that stupid. But the simple fact is, I just responded on Facebook and said, yeah, well, the state of Florida tried that, and they found out that less than 1/10% of the people that they tested positive for any kind of drugs. I think a better use of our dollars would be to check the cops for steroid abuse, which could be causing this aggression, and check our Congress people, since so many Congress people, so many politicians have been popped on drug charges But let's take this drug testing Nancy Reagan mentality out of the picture when it comes to feeding children who are hungry and who don't have enough food in their homes. And I said it once and I was done. And it didn't matter how many other people in the world thought that stupid thing. What mattered was I expressed my piece. I gave my contribution to society, as small as it might be, and I was done with it. And it didn't mess up the rest of my day thinking of how stupid this woman is. And so I think that the idea of the mind dump is really important, because if I didn't do that frequently in my life, I would get nothing accomplished, because I am a thinker, and I am a passionate thinker, and I'm an activist. And so, as you can imagine, in our current political climate, there is enough to get me aggravated all the time. With the tragedies, the violence that's going on, there is enough that could get me depressed all of the time, and I wouldn't be able to do any work. So I need to be able to say, here's my expression, and when when I feel emotions arising or thoughts arising, I address them, and I try to find expression on social media. This is kind of like a 2-for-1 today, because I'm going to tell you that when you do that, when you use social media as a means of expression, you're bringing value to the marketplace. You're not only clearing the way for you to have better, more wholesome, more positive thoughts, to be able to get rid of some of that data that's taken up space on the hard drive of your mind, but you also are bringing value because you're bringing you to the marketplace. Sandy is a fantastic example of that. Actually, I think that all of you that are here do that, whether knowingly or unknowingly. You share from your hearts how you really feel, and and the discussions that follow. Sometimes there are discussions, sometimes there's not. Sometimes we intimidate the people that read our wall, and they don't want to have a discussion with us because they can see that we're so passionate about something. Other times, people might jump in and share the expressions. Sometimes those conversations even go off topic, but when they go off topic, trust in the universe that they're going off topic for a reason. There's something else. Remember, everything that happens in your life is reflecting back something that you can work on, something you can address. So I just say, hey, it's all good. There's something here that I can let go of. Let's see where this conversation has gone. And so use that as your homework, if you will, this week, is to come up with a mission statement, and take the whole week to do that. We're going to continue doing mind shifts every day, but every day, if you would spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, fleshing out that mission statement, so that on Friday we can talk about what those mission statements are and share those and celebrate those. So guys, thank you so much, Sandy, Jen, Ita. If somebody else wants to jump in there, please go ahead and do so.
Good half hour, thanks.
Thank you. And guys, stay in the moment. Be grateful for what you've got. That's going to open the door not only to the abundance that's waiting for you, but to the wisdom that's waiting to be downloaded. And always remember, the best is yet to come. We'll talk to you tomorrow.